Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so have you ever dreamt of just strolling down a Parisian boulevard, stepping effortlessly into some charming little boutique, and chatting away with the shopkeeper like you've lived there your whole life? It sounds absolutely idyllic, right? But let's be real, the reality of navigating French stores can actually feel kinda daunting if you don't know the unwritten rules. So let's dive right into this. Today, we're taking a virtual trip to France to completely master the language of polite shopping. We are going to decode all those cultural and grammatical secrets hidden within everyday transactions so you can shop with absolute confidence.
Think of this as our shopping itinerary for the day. First, we'll hit shopping at the mall. Then, we'll unpack the art of politeness. After that, we're exploring French specialty shops, figuring out mastering quantities and pronouns, and finally, getting you ready for your next French adventure. Let's hit the streets.
Section 1. Shopping at the mall. To kick things off, let's meet our first characters from the source material, Akanksha and Nargis. They are on a very important mission to buy a birthday gift for their friend Pauline. Just imagine standing in the middle of a bustling center commercial, a shopping mall. You know the vibe, right? The crowds, the multiple levels, just the sheer variety of stores everywhere. Akanksha and Nargis are browsing around, trying to figure out exactly what to get. A CD? Maybe a novel. Eventually, they gravitate straight towards the jewelry counter to check out some earrings.
Now really notice how Nargis initiates the conversation here. She says, "Excuse-moi, madame, ces boucles d'oreilles, combien coûtent-elles?" Basically, "Excuse me, ma'am, these earrings, how much do they cost?" It's direct, sure, but notice she starts with, "Excuse-moi, madame." She doesn't just point and grunt at the display case. The shop assistant politely replies that they're 10 euros, and Nargis decides to go with the red ones.
Okay, so once you've picked your item, you actually have to buy the thing. And this brings us to some absolutely crucial checkout vocabulary. Nargis asks for un paquet cadeau, which is just a wonderful phrase to have in your back pocket. It means gift wrap. Then she asks if they accept a carte de crédit, a credit card. Because the alternative, of course, would be paying en espèces, meaning in cash. Honestly, just mastering these few phrases completely transforms the checkout experience from kind of stressful to totally seamless.
Section 2. The Art of Politeness. Now, let's pause our shopping trip for just a second because we really need to talk about something fundamental. In French culture, good manners aren't just, a nice bonus. They are absolutely make or break. The grammar itself brilliantly illustrates this point. Check out the difference between these two tenses. If you use the future tense, like je voudrais or j'aimerais, you are essentially demanding something. It translates closer to I will want or I will like. Honestly, it sounds incredibly blunt. But if you use the conditional tense, je voudrais or j'aimerais, you completely soften the request. It becomes I would like. This conditionnel de politesse is literally the golden key to getting good service in France. So, the crucial point here is knowing exactly how to form these polite requests. Let's walk through the conjugation rules from the source text. For the verb aimer, to like, the polite conditional for I would like is j'aimerais. For vouloir, to want, it's je voudrais. Notice that subtle S at the end of the je and to forms? Now, if you're with a group, it becomes nous aimerions or nous voudrions. If you take nothing else away, just memorize je voudrais. It's going to be your absolute best friend while shopping.
Let's see how this all builds into the anatomy of a perfect French transaction. Every single dialogue in our lesson follows this universal four-step process. Step 1, you absolutely must greet the shopkeeper with a bonjour monsieur or bonjour madame. If you skip this, you are immediately starting on the wrong foot. Step 2, make your request politely using je voudrais. Step 3, specify exactly what you want. And step 4, pay and warmly say thank you and goodbye. Merci, au revoir.
Section 3. French Specialty Shops. Now that we've got our etiquette locked down, let's follow our next character, Pauline. She's organizing a party and running some errands, which means she is skipping the modern mall entirely and hitting up the highly specialized local vendors.
Notice the huge contrast here. On the one hand, we've got Les Marchés, the vibrant open-air market, just bursting with fresh produce, tomatoes, onions, mushrooms, and right alongside that, La Boulangerie, the bakery, with those iconic, golden, crusty baguettes and flaky croissants. You see, in France, you don't always get everything in one giant superstore. Instead, you go straight to the experts.
And because you're visiting these experts regularly, you start to build relationships.
I absolutely love this wonderfully warm detail from the source text where the baker greets Pauline by saying, "Une baguette bien cuite, comme d'habitude," which translates to a well-cooked baguette, as usual. It just shows she's a regular customer, and the baker knows exactly how she prefers her bread, crusty and dark. That connection, that is the beating heart of French shopping culture.
Let's do a quick rundown of the specific shops Pauline hits up to gather her party supplies. She goes to La Crèmerie for her eggs and milk, Le Marché for the vegetables, L'Épicerie for flour and mineral water, La Boulangerie for bread and croissants, and finally La Boucherie for chicken and sliced ham. I mean, that is quite the brisk errand run, right?
Section 4. Mastering quantities and pronouns. Okay, so you're standing in these specialty shops. Buying food means knowing exactly how to articulate specific amounts. You can't just point to a massive pile of flour and hope for the best. You actually have to use your words. This brings us to pairing numbers with units of measurement. And the good news? It is incredibly formulaic. You just take a number, let's say 1, and add the unit. Un kilo, a kilo of tomatoes, un litre, a liter of milk, or une douzaine, a dozen eggs. The structure is so simple. It's just the quantity plus the word de plus the item. Un kilo de tomates.
But what happens when the conversation keeps flowing, and you really don't want to just keep repeating the word tomatoes over and over again? Enter the magical, albeit slightly tricky, pronoun en. As defined in the source, en replaces a noun introduced by a partitive article, like some, or an expression of quantity. It basically translates to of it or some.
Let's look at a grocery store exercise from the text to see the pronoun en in its natural habitat. We've got shoppers discussing quantities. The prompt asks, "Vous avez du jambon?" meaning, do you have some ham? And the response? Well,
You just drop the noun entirely. Instead of clunkily saying, I am buying 3 slices of ham, you say, J'en achète 3 tranches. Literally, I of it am buying 3 slices. Or if someone asks, Vous avez de l'eau? Do you have water? You simply say, Oui, j'en ai. Yes, I have some. It's a total light bulb moment when you realize this makes your French sound so incredibly fluent and effortless. You're no longer stumbling over repeating the exact same words.
Section 5. Your next French adventure. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the mall to the butcher, from polite conditionals to tricky pronouns. Now it's time to bring all these grammatical rules and vocabulary together to prep you for your own real-life trip.
Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that you don't always need to know the exact weight of something. Expressing vague quantities is just as crucial. Memorize these 3 lifesaver phrases. Un peu de, a little bit of. Beaucoup de, a lot of. And trop de, too much of. Whether you want a little bit of cheese, a whole lot of bread, or if there is simply trop de trafic outside, these phrases are absolutely essential.
So, I'm going to leave you with a bit of a challenge. Imagine you're standing right in front of a beautiful Parisian boulangerie. You've got 10 euros in your pocket, and you have a massive craving for croissants. Based on everything we've explored today, applying those 4 steps of a transaction and that vital conditional tense, what do you say next? Seriously, practice it out loud. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy shopping!